PWW. We're just about to get underway with the Dutch Grand Prix. We're just waiting on a few more people connecting into the lobby. So if you stick by with us, we'll be with you with all of the coverage for this round number 9 event of the Catalina wine mixer. In the meantime, though, here's the music. Once again, apologies for the slight delay as we're just trying to get people connected into the lobby. Looks like we've got a few technical issues just while we're waiting on those people. People just getting themselves ready up. And we'll be on our way for this Catalina Wine Mixer event, round number 9, at the Netherlands Grand Prix. In the meantime, though, we will continue on with the music. Hello everyone, welcome aboard to Prestige Worldwide Racing. Welcome to PWW. This is round number 9 at the Dutch Grand Prix, live from Zandvoort. Good evening. If you are tuning in from the United Kingdom, it is just approaching 9:45 after what was a very intense Mexican Grand Prix qualifying. And of course, if you're tuning in over in America on the East Coast, it is just coming across now, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, 4:45 in the evening. And 4:45, of course, if you're in the central time zone, and 13 drivers all getting themselves ready and raring to go for this at the Dutch Grand Prix for the Catalina Wine Mixer event. PWW hosting a completely free-to-join event with prizes being awarded to the top 3 as per usual. And of course, I'm looking forward to being alongside you for this event. It is Jota once again for PWW. And we're just keeping an eye out, of course, on what I think is going to be a very, very intense Grand Prix. We do have our first visit, really, to the Dutch Grand Prix for a lot of the leagues. We're just trying to get used to it in 2020, and now some full force racing now for 2021 as we follow the Haas driver of PWW, Reeskiller, not being the cleanest of seasons so far for the Haas driver. I believe, correct me again if I'm wrong, at the moment for Reeskiller, he is yet to score a point for Haas, and all of the points for Haas have been scored by Peronde. There's a Brazilian currently leading the championship here at the Catalina Wine Mixer for PWW. So, situation report. We have a short qualifying event for the 13 runners. It's a slightly reduced showing of runners tonight, as we actually get reduced down to 12, as we have RSF1 Uzumaki disconnecting from the session. So hopefully they'll be able to reconnect back in for Ferrari. So once again, we'll just keep a firm eye on the Haas runner of Reeskiller. So Clips comes across the line, then set that initial lap time, the 1 minute 1 minute 11, sorry, 0.3, followed by Reskiller's 13.5. And obviously many other drivers trying to get themselves out in the field as well. We'll keep an eye out on Luciano as well at the moment, as the Ferrari looking to try and get himself back in the mix after what was a little bit of a shaky middle part to the season. Keep a monitor on that situation. As I believe we've actually just gone to black. Hopefully we can figure out what's going on here, but we're just trying to get everything back up and running. As we have a spinning car, and it actually is Luciano. Would you believe we were on board with that driver? As we're just getting some live feedback from him, actually, who's just crashed it at the top of it, saying, "Oh, that sucks," he says. We did miss that one. We did miss that. Apologies, I had a few technical issues just as the stream trying to get going. Supply wrapped up in the McLaren. Thanking his lucky stars he managed to get out of a scenario at the last Grand Prix. His teammate at the time, and that's a big slide, and another driver struggling. And that penultimate corner as Perondi comes across the line in the Haas with the 10.8. I was just saying Supply Raptor was thanking his lucky stars he got away from the incident between, I believe it was the Mercedes of Duffy's and his teammate at the time, PWW Vaste, of which getting a time penalty, and there's Clips in the Weetabix as well. So plenty of drivers just testing the limits of Zandvoort tonight, and we are expecting a bunch of people to be struggling here, as he's now just been disqualified, would you believe it, for driving the wrong way. That is bitterly disappointing stuff. We've got the Red Bull of Mods SC Boy also setting the fastest lap time here. Clips now will be out of qualifying. Well, they've been taking no further part in this event as we follow the Alpine of Iron Fox, looking to try and get something on the board. He's on an outlap at the moment, though. I believe just realising accidentally he was in the hot lap mode on the ERS, because he's down on the ERS power at the moment. We'll keep an eye out on the Aston Martin with no limit, no EQL. So we've got 12 minutes to go in this qualifying session. He'll come across the line. Struggling at the moment with what seems to be some technical issues once again. Hopefully the sound will now actually come back. I believe we have actually now got sound, would you believe? Apologies for all of that one. Looks like it's been a bit of a messy start to the stream. And a bit of lagging here and there, but no limit, no EQL. Not showing any reduction in pace at the moment. P3 at the moment, but of only 3 drivers to have set a lap at the moment. We have lost Luciano after an incident in the final sector. Clips spinning out as well. Just following the dude on an outlap at the moment, as Clips has now actually fully left the session. So I'm wondering if he's going to be willing. There's another one struggling. Another one struggling out there at the moment. As we're getting some lovely side track commentary from Luciano. Also catching the dude's little half spin going through the final corner on his outlap is the number 2 AlphaTauri. I suppose not the number 2 as in he's the number 2 in the AlphaTauri team. He's just racing with the number 2 as he a little bit of a lock-up going through the camber corner in the first sector. We'll keep an eye out at the moment on the situation sector-wise as well at the moment, and it is medium tyres at the moment. Of course, this being the qualifying session where everyone and anyone in the top 10, of course, will have the probability of having to start on the tyre that they set on. It's very wide from the AlphaTauri. He's the only one to be setting a lap on the medium tyre as well. And weirdly enough, everyone's starting on the softs. We do have one person connecting in, and would you believe it is Marie? She's now rejoined into the session, joining a little bit late into the session, but she is here, and she now will be on her way to try and set something, and a bit of a slide from the dude. Now we'll be keeping an eye out here because he made a mistake here and he's missed his apex again. Going through that third sector corner, going through the final corner then as we have a slow car, I believe it's the Haas. Here comes the AlphaTauri, then managed to get out of there cleanly this time. He'll come across the line, sets the first lap time on the medium with the 1 minute 12.6, but certainly got more pace to find in the AlphaTauri after going wide in a few corners here. And I'm wondering if he's actually just going to go straight on another lap here actually. And he is looking marginally better in that first sector. We'll see how he is then as he goes through these wiggly turns, and they're very, very easy to sort of manage here, and he is actually lifting, so I wonder if he's calling it quits on this particular occasion. Tell you what, we'll step away and actually go to Bailey at the moment. Bailey is the so far the runner-up so far in this championship campaign for the Catalina wine mixer, and he needs to try and get himself in and around Perondi's lap time if he wants to try and close down the gap with not very many races left in the season. So he'll be looking to try and get into the 1 minute 10s at least. He set a purple sector 2 as he'll come across the final corner. 33 degrees of camber. They'll come across the line now, and he'll set the immediate lap time on the boards and straight into the 1 minute 10.1s for Bailey, and managing to find well over 7/10 of a second on Perondi at the moment. So either track evolution is really heating up quite quickly here, or a bunch of these drivers have really struggled in this first initial stage of this qualifying session here in Zandvoort. Monitor the situation here with Perondi, who is looking to try and improve where he can at the moment. Final last sector lap time looked fairly good. The question is it going to be competitive with the likes of Bailey? He's going to come across the line with the DRS open here, taking the shorter exit, comes across the line. Oh, he's just missed out on it though, wouldn't you believe it? Just a little bit under 1/10 of a second separating Bailey from Perondi, and the two championship contenders still closely fighting out some really, really competitive qualifying lap times. We'll see No Limit New QL come across the line. He now starts his lap. Here's Reskiller. He's looking to try improve on his 1:13.2 here. 3-lap old softs now, so he's he's bedded in these tyres very well. I think he's actually bedded them in a bit too well at the moment, because he's just understeered going through the hairpin, as we have a third sector yellow flag, and that I believe is for the Aston Martin of No Limit New QL. Pardon me, it might not actually be him. I can't see colour. I believe it actually is the Alpha Tauri of PWW, the dude, would you believe, who has got wing damage, so he'll be coming in fresh front wing with 7.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Plenty of drivers yet to set a lap at the moment. We've got Marie, Weaver, Raptor, Uzumaki, and Crispy yet to set a lap. I'm not sure if Uzumaki's actually managed to reconnect into the session, as Crispy so late on the brakes. I imagine he actually didn't slow down at all, really, and could have pile drived it into the back of the Haas. He has to be wary of that one, that is for sure. Here's McLaren then of Supply Raptor. Once again, counting his lucky stars, he managed to get out and avoid that incident with the Mercedes of Duffy's and his teammate of the day, PWR Vaste, last time out at Italy. Vaste getting the penalty point on his record. He was deemed at fault for that one. But another driver looking to try and set a lap on the medium tyre, would you believe? He's looking to try and get around somewhere with PWW, the dude, who surely will have the advantage on strategy. Keep it steady through 4. And keeps it nice and steady, actually, on the curb. And keeps it very close to the apex, actually, as we just... Again, very well taken. The McLaren's got a little bit of clean air as well, actually, in front of him, so he's looking like his only rival really is going to be himself if he makes any mistakes. Up on the curbs, but very well taken. And the number 48, again, hitting his apex quite well on these medium tyres, actually. We'll see what his Sector 2 lap time is on these medium tyres here. And he'll be looking to try and get into the 50s if he can. It's a 40.4, actually, so not looking too bad at the moment for the McLaren. A little bit on the grass, but I'm thinking he didn't really hit it that much, so gets away with it. Heads through the final corner. And of course, with the DRS open, the McLaren will be looking to try and set a lap time. It's competitive, and he certainly has as well with that 11.0 on the medium tyre. He is 9/10 down on Bailey, but these tyres, and that's a spin and a half on the in lap on the immediately through turn 1 from Supply Raptor. Try not to put too much deg into the tyres now. There, Supply, as Raptor comes across the line with that 11.0, is 9/10 down on Bailey. The tyres are around about 6 to 7/10 a lap slower than the softs, so he's looking around about Perondi's pace at the moment on that medium tyre is Supply Raptor, so it's not a bad lap time indeed from the McLaren. So we've got Siltweaver in the Red Bull going a little bit wide and bringing out the yellow flags, and not going to bring down I believe that might be Crispy in the Alpine, who's just about to have a go here at starting his lap, and he's on the medium tyre as well. There he is then. Hits the apex of turn 1 very well. Little kink left of 2 into 3, and then late on the brakes into 4. Slight lock up, but hits his apex relatively okay.
I fell asleep.
Is Luciano just saying that he fell asleep? Would you believe it? Only through 6 and 7, then it's a purple sector 1 with that 24.5 at the moment, but I have a feeling that is probably not going to be purple as he heads into the right-hander, and then a further right-hander here, drop it into 3rd gear, hit the apex, maybe short shift into 4th. He short shifts into 5th, would you believe, does Crispy. And the DRS open. Alpine will be looking to set something on the books here. And Slow Steady wins the race. Apparently another purple second sector, though I don't believe that is the case. Number 88, Alpine, will be hoping he's got purple sectors, because of course he'll be beating Bailey on medium tyres, but I don't believe that's going to be the case. He'll come across the line now. It's a 10.6. He's actually fastest of all those setting lap times on the mediums at the moment. But Supply Raptor and PWW Dude have now gone into the pits and switched over to a set of soft tyres here. And Crispy, it might be in a bit of danger here. He might not actually have enough time to get back in and set a lap time on softs here, so he's going to have to make this in lap fairly sharp here. Slow car, it is Perondi, who I believe is just very gingerly looking after his tyres. He doesn't want to put too much strain through them, but equally the number 91 doesn't really want to go too slow and make the tyres fall off in temperature. Still plenty of drivers yet to set a lap here. We've got Marie and Silweaver to set a lap, and Uzumaki, who still hasn't set a lap time after disconnecting, so hopefully, fingers crossed, he will reconnect into this session. As soft tyre of Supply Raptor, who just set that 11.0 as well not too long ago on the mediums, now looking to try and find the 5 to 6 tenths deficit that he would have had on the medium. If he can sort of find an equal lap into the pace that he had with the medium, he will be sort of looking around about the 11.3 range. Of course, with track evolution into play, if he could just find an average, he'll be 11.5, which will still put him in 3rd above Crispy. He's on an outlap though at the moment, as are plenty of other drivers at the moment, as we just see Crispy coming into the pits, and he's got a bit of a rush on here to try and get a set of softs on if he can. It's going to be pretty tight. It's going to be 20 seconds in, set of softs on, 20 seconds out, and that will leave him with about 1 minute and 20 seconds at the point of him leaving the pit lane, or leaving the garage rather. Then he's got to put in the pit lane. And that is going to be a significant issue. But Crispy's at danger here, you'd have to argue. Perondi on a lap. Oh, he's not on a lap anymore, though. That's a spin and a half on the curb. He will have a bit of time to have another go at this one, but he's going to have to recharge those batteries ASAP. So the championship leader struggling out there at the moment with maybe a few issues with track management in regards to the actual pace. He's got it. See how Bailey does through the same corner here. He's got yellow flags, clips on the curve very nicely. He's got the yellow flags because of the slowing Aston Martin, so not really legitimate yellow flags, you'd have to argue. Here he comes then through the hairpin. Don't hit that curb because you will auto spin off it. A little bit of snap of oversteer, but well caught from the Alfa Romeo. So Crispy has retired from the session. He didn't have not the time, and look at the traffic building around here, and the Haas nearly getting in the way there. And that was Perondi, would you believe, who was just trying to get out of the way, but I have a sneaky suspicion did not see it coming. We'll see if Bailey ended up getting caught out by it. He'll come across the line. Will he improve? He does improve, but only by 0.5 of a second, and I think Bailey will not be particularly happy maybe with Perondi. It was a very late call to go to that inside line in front of the McLaren. And Perondi will now have a lap here, as we do have a spinning car at the back, and I believe that is Bailey who's actually spun it at turn 1. We are following Perondi at the moment with 10 seconds to go. The Red Bull, I believe that is of Silkweaver, trying to get across the line. He'll get a lap in. with that 11.7 on the medium tyre. He'll have another go at it, of course. Here comes the Red Bull, or the other Red Bull rather, and he's Mods SC Boy has just chosen straight to pit with that 10.7, so he'll be starting no higher than 4th, but plenty of drivers moving off of the medium tyre onto the soft here. Bailey will feel a little bit hard done by if Perondi does end up managing to beat him here, you know. You may think he got hindered in that third sector approaching the penultimate corner, and the number 91 just mounting the curbs ever so nicely in the Haas, looking to try and find around a 10th and a half if he can. With the DRS open, he was looking to get across the line. Will he improve? He does improve, but not by enough, and Supplier Actor comes across the line, and as I said, 10.3 for him. He needed to find a little bit more if he wanted to get on that front row. Nonetheless, he starts on the second row in 3rd place. Good lap from the McLaren. Might have also had a little bit of a tow from Perondi as well. Siltweaver looking to try and improve if he can. He's 2.5 tenths up in the second sector, but is he going to come into the pits? I believe he is not, because he's going to take the inside line. Here he comes now to come across the line. Does improve by 5 tenths, but doesn't improve his position. Is down by 2 tenths on Marie, who joined us late and has just managed to get into the car and go, and she starts in 6th place on the mediums as well. But the leading car with that advantage is so crispy on that medium tyre with that 10.6, and despite being, or missing out rather, on the opportunity to extend, and rather that she missed out on the opportunity, or rather Crispy managed to miss out on the opportunity to have another go, maybe moving over to the soft tyre. The Ukrainian will be happy with 4th, but Bailey starts on pole, Perondi in 2nd, Supplier Actor, the American, will be happy in the McLaren, just a bit over 2.5 tenths down on Bailey. Crispy is 4th, Mods SC Boy, the Lebanese, will be happy with the Red Bull in 5th place on the soft tyre. Marie just managing to just get straight into the Williams and go on the medium tyre, 11.0, really starting to pick up her pace this season, as well as the German, and she starts in 6th. So we do have a little bit of a break, so an opportunity for everyone to just settle down a little bit and try and sort of understand the prospects of the race in front of us. We have a bunch of laps ahead of us to really sort of understand exactly what we're going to be experiencing, because it is the Dutch Grand Prix. This is a very hotly contested circuit. It's a very hot circuit for racing. We do usually see a lot of stuff and a lot of racing happening in esports especially. So, situation report, it's the South Korean of Bailey who'll be happy in the Alfa Romeo with that soft tyre lap time. Starts himself on pole in front of Perondi, who had that a couple of spins in qualifying as well. So this could be something that we may end up seeing from Perondi. We did see that throughout this season. The championship leader has a couple of spins in qualifying, may end up replicating that in the race. He ends up managing to bounce back, but this is a circuit that is going to be incredibly tricky to come back from if you make a mistake. Supplier Actor starts in 3rd place then for McLaren, and then it is Crispy in 4th for the Alpine. Mods SC Boy in the Red Bull starts 5th. Marie in the Williams, like as I said, she just strapped herself into the Williams later than planned and just gone on the medium tyre, and is the 2nd fastest out of anyone on the mediums at the moment, so she starts in 6th. Weaver does manage to close down the gap on Marie, but not by enough, and 2 tenths behind in qualifying puts him in 7th. No Limit No EQL, the Mexican driver in the Aston Martin, will be starting in 8th on the soft, and the dude managed to get through on the medium tyre, but he wasn't able to improve any further, and that he'll be starting in 9th on those mediums, with Reskiller in 10th. And towards the back, of course, your bottom 4, Iron Fox, Luciano, Uzumaki and Clips all have the option to start on any tyre they want. Uzumaki does manage to reconnect back into the session, and he starts on the mediums with Luciano and Iron Fox, and Clips, the Canadian, at the moment electing to start on the softs, but we do have a little bit of time before we get racing here. And of course the one stop is what we are expecting. Medium to soft is certainly the way to go. The tyre degradation around here, despite all the camber, usually is not too bad, so we might end up seeing a relative amount of one stops with the medium to soft certainly going to be the way to go, unless of course safety cars become a play, which is certainly possible at a circuit like this one. Of course, very close proximity circuit, not much space on the circuit to get going, and typically what that usually means is that we end up with some pretty hot and pretty aggressive racing at a circuit like this one, especially on lap 1 when we're going to be going through the set of S's of corners 5, 6, 7 and 8. Of course, with those 10 seconds to go, it's going to give us an opportunity to thank everyone, of course, for what has, I think, been a very amazing season so far of PWW, of the Catalina wine mixer, as the drivers will begin their reconnaissance lap. I'm certainly looking forward now to what is going to be the home stretch, if you will, for what is going to be a great bit of racing. 14 drivers around this field then for the Catalina wine mixer event. Welcome to round number 9 at the Dutch Grand Prix. We are live in Zandvoort, straight after the intense qualifying of the Mexican Grand Prix. It was a very, very intense Mexican Grand Prix qualifying, and there will be no spoilers, of course, for those that are wanting to tune in and look at maybe highlights of the race when they come live on YouTube on the official Formula 1 channel, or maybe if you're in the UK, wait for Channel 4's coverage, or wherever you get your Formula 1 demand. And these drivers will be looking to replicate that intensity that we saw in that qualifying at Bailey, looking like a very intense qualifying, well, intense formation lap rather, sorry, for him at the moment. The South Korean taking a solid pole position and absolutely planting the accelerator pedal to get those rears lit up and warmed up before this event. As we see, Perondi is really, really down the field at the moment, actually. He's out of position in this formation lap. I'm wondering if he's had a bit of a half spin. Already has the Brazilian. And the championship leader is a little bit down the field, so he'll be we'll be waiting on him really before we get going with this one, as we do have the Williams of Clips trying to get into this one. Of course, remember, Clips and Uzumaki hasn't actually managed to reconnect to the session, so both of these drivers are going to be not scoring any points unless they get back into this race ASAP. Hopefully Luciano is actually racing as well. I can't really see whether he's here or not. I'm hoping the situation is that he is here. It's just that maybe they're just ghosted. But those ghosted cars at the back are just getting themselves onto the home straight, because they are now landing up on the grid. And with those drivers lined up, we're counting down the lights. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, and it's 5 lights. It's 5 lights, and they are a go. The drivers here, they are. Really good start from Perondi on that inside landing. He's going to have the advantage, maybe going into the corner, but Bailey's just going to be able to cover it off there, as we have to do a bit of a sweep from the Red Bull, trying to hold off, and a little collision maybe with the McLaren. Hopefully not too much damage. There's plenty of people switching positions. I would believe we have a spinning car at the back, and that might be Clips who's struggling here in that first bit here, but Bailey holding on for Perondi. Supply Raptor so crispy. Monza Seaboy, no changes there. No Limit, no QL up 2. Luciano up 5, and the dude up 1 with Reese Skiller up 1, and Iron Fox up 1, and Silver already out of this race as he's lost it at turn 3, and the virtual safety car is out straight away as a result of that one. And a very, very hot start to this race is toned down, and we will monitor these drivers as they have to reduce their speed by 40% as they try to keep their tyres warm. Up 5 positions then for Luciano, currently getting that driver of the day performance, but we're not even finished the first lap here, so anything can happen, and it usually does. So we're down then to 11 drivers. Marie also having not the best start in the Williams. She's down 5. It's all about that start here and when it's going to happen. The drivers have to monitor it. But we do go green again here at Zandvoort. And a relatively good start from Bailey coming out of the camber corner, trying to cover off there from the toe of Perondi, who's surely not going to go for the gap there, as we do have a spinning car. I believe it is the dude who's not a spinning car. He's actually pitting already off of the medium tyre. He goes, and I believe it'll be a set of hard tyres, so perhaps a front wing change then for El Duderino. As we're following Bailey now. Not the situation that Perondi really initially wanted, as we do have a switching towards the midfield, as we believe we've got a little bit of battling happening towards that midfield, and I believe it's Iron Fox who's had a spin, and no front wing at all for the Alpine. And Alpine won't be happy with that one. It's £250,000 worth of gear now going to have to go back on the front of that particular car. This is a very slow car as well, which is bringing out the yellow flags. Should actually be more or less white flags, to be honest with you, in that one. Back towards the front though. Soft, soft, soft. And then the medium tyre. So Crispy actually holding his own quite well at the moment on these medium tyres. And the DRS will be active as they come across the line now. Bailey obviously setting the initial fastest lap. Question is anyone going to be able to beat him on that one? Not on this particular occasion, but we do now have DRS available thanks to race control. And the DRS train will be falling from first all the way down to 7th with Luciano. As Reskiller comes into the pits to get off of the soft tyres early, probably a set of hard tyres for him maybe. And as they continue on with their form, we've got another 33 laps worth of racing here. Just want to keep an eye out on that situation with the Alpine, because of course, is he going to be able to hold on to the pace of those in the soft tyre with the DRS available? He's going to be able to do so, but he's losing a little bit of time on this lap to Supply Raptor is the Alpine. The last thing that the Alpine wants now is to get out of the tow, and he'll have the DRS, which now swings wide open, but he doesn't want to fall away from this train here. He wants to stay within it, because that medium tyre strategy to moving over to the soft is by far the best strategy to be on around here. And if he can hold on and stay within touching distance of the 3 cars in front of him, he's a serious dark horse in this race. No Limit, no AQL, currently battling hard with Luciano at the moment, who's going to have DRS on the Aston Martin. Himself out of the DRS train. Luciano on the medium tyre, now managed to get past the soft tyre runner in the Aston Martin, the Ferrari up to 6th. But of course he needs to close down the gap if he can to Mods SC Boy, because he's got a 1.5 second gap, which is going to put him well out of DRS territory. Only 2 DRS straights, sorry. First one doesn't really lead into a potential overtaking opportunity. We have seen overtakes done, but it's not the ideal one, and the ideal overtaking spot is usually the hot spot. It's turn 1. Monte Seaboy getting seriously close to So Crispy. Actually the closest at the moment out of those in the top 5. It's Perondi just managing to break exactly that, but he's just lost it going through the hairpin. It doesn't look like to me that those in the top 5 are pushing that particularly hard, but Crispy's certainly going to be one that has to consider what he does here. But it's actually been a relatively good lap from the Alpine. A very good lap at the moment as well from the Brazilian Perondi. He's looking like he's going to be able to make a move on Bailey very early on here. And with the overtake available in the DRS, Bailey trying to cover off the inside line very early. He wants to have that inside line, but Perondi getting the fastest lap of this race has made it very clear that the Haas driver has got the pace, but he's missed the apex going through 1. Would you believe? And Perondi now going to be the person under pressure. Is the drivers going to be able to adapt now? How quickly are they going to be able to adapt to the changeable conditions for them and each other? Now, one does not have all of that understeer because they're not in the wake of the car, while the other one, of course, is now going to get used to understeer because he is now in the wake of the car who's just overtaken him. And that is going to be a factor they're going to have to consider, and Perondi washing out a little bit wide again, I suspect, trying to anticipate understeer that isn't there, and then when he realises it's not there, it's too late and he washes out, as Bailey is actually adapting quite well here, and I'm wondering if the Alfa Romeo is going to make a very quick move back on the Haas. Heading into turn 1, we'll see how he goes through the hairpin here, and it is a very good corner though for Perondi. Look at the gap he's already forming, over half a second separating the Brazilian here from the South Korean. There's a bit of a wiggle from the Alfa Romeo as well, which is not going to help his case as well. Supply Raptor starting to lose a bit of trail here to So Crispy, and that actually, Supply Raptor to Bailey rather, and that's the last thing that So Crispy really wants here. He wants to try and stay in touching distance of P1 and 2 here. As such, he may have to consider his moves here, maybe make a move on Supply Raptor if he wants to consider his long-term prospects. Perondi getting the fastest lap of this race once again. He's continually improving with 30 laps to go. We'll just keep a firm eye on the chat as well. So Weaver just popping into the chat as well. Good evening to yourself, sir. Sorry to hear about your DNF early on in this race. It was a bit of a tough one. But he's supporting, of course, his teammate Mods, currently in P5 at the moment, trying to close down the gap on the medium tyre runner. So Crispy had a very good qualifying on that medium tyre, and he's become a very competitive driver in this event. And Crispy has seriously got to consider his potentials here, because at the moment Supply Raptor is dangerously too far back here from Bailey. He's going to have DRS, but only just here. And I'm wondering if So Crispy's now going to start considering whether he now needs to start pushing to try and get past Supply Raptor and see if he's able to continue on with the pace and try and push against Bailey. Because, of course, if he's losing time to Bailey because of Supply Raptor making another mistake there through the penultimate corner, And now he's out of DRS territory, would you believe? He will have DRS, would Supply Raptor. No, he won't, actually. The McLaren is now out of DRS territory after that mistake at the penultimate corner. And now, So Crispy is now going to seriously consider what his moves are here, because he's not going to be able to hold on too long from those two cars in front of him. And inadvertently, I think Supply Raptor may start hindering So Crispy's progress here, being on that medium tyre. Meanwhile, in all of this happening at the moment, we do have one driver still in the mix, Marie. She's now 4 seconds back from those in the top 5, so she'll be wanting to try and close that gap down if she can, and she's got no threat of DRS around her at the moment. Luciano 1.5 down, and actually fighting at the moment with No Limit, No EQL. And Uzumaki's Ghost currently fighting at the moment with Clip's Ghost, so they will not be scoring points, I believe. As it stands at the moment, Iron Fox and the Dude are going to be in that perspective, and Reskiller, sorry, are going to be in the perspective 9th, 10th and 11th place respectively. So Bailey's going to be looking to make the move, potentially closes the DRS early, so he is looking to just try and put Perondi under pressure here, as we do have one person pitting immediately, and it is Mods SC Boy. He's moving on to the hard tyre here. Soft to medium is certainly possible, and he's actually having to do it because he's got a fresh front wing going on, so maybe a mistake at some point from the Red Bull, and Red Bull, they're going from bad to worse really, a DNF and now a front wing change. That puts Mods SC Boy now potentially as far down as P10 as he leaves the pits on the hard tyre. Of course, that would be a prospective P8 as Uzumaki and Clips are not racing in this race. They did leave just at the beginning of qualifying. Just a little bit under a quarter of this race now, as we do have a spinning car. I believe that's the Haas of Reskiller. Just getting a bit of a half spin coming out of that corner, and that's actually going to be putting Iron Fox in a good position potentially for P11. Oh, we've got another spinning car again. Is that Mods SC Boy again? I'm trying to figure out the situation. It is Mods SC Boy again, and he's not finding these hard tyres very good, and he's certainly not going to find them very good now because he's got a load of gravel stuck into the tread at the moment. So Crispy setting the fastest lap of this race. Would you believe on that medium tyre is looking sharp at the moment. And it looks to me as if Mods SC Boy's day and the Red Bull's day is just getting from bad to worse here. And the number 21 is going to be considering his moves here. Is he going to wait out and potential in the hope that there's going to be a safety car? As we have Reskiller spinning again in the second sector. I believe we're going to be seeing a DNF actually. He's going to be coming into the pits. He speeds in there, and this is going to be a complete DNF because he's given up. Disappointing stuff there. As Red Bull, both teammates at Red Bull are out of this race. As Mods SC Boy, I think, unrealistically did not need to give up. As Supply Raptor's now struggling as well on the soft tyre. Don't need to give up. I know this track is not the best, but you don't have to give up because the safety car is likely to come out at a circuit like this one. Iron Fox makes the move then on Mods SC Boy, who has DNF'd, as I said, from this race. As the late great Murray Walker said in this quote that I do carry a lot with me with my own commentary experience, anything can happen, and it usually does. The McLaren Supply Raptor now coming in. He's going to get off of these soft tyres, I suspect, after that half spin that he had earlier on. Marie now up to 4th place on these old medium tyres, and suddenly the medium tyres really starting to switch on here, and so Crispy able to close down the gap now on those in front of him, and these drivers that in front of him are going to be ones that he's going to be really, really smiling ear to ear to get past here, because he knows he's going to be able to really extend his stint here and potentially do a soft stint. He will need to take the medium tyres another 16 laps if he wants to do that, but it's not out of the realms of possibility if he wants to do the medium to soft. We'll see then as he heads then into the stadium section once again. And the Alpine looking mighty fast at the moment. These fresh medium tyres, I say fresh, they're old, but the fresher medium tyres versus the softs. Working an absolute treat at the moment with the DRS Open. Bailey retaking that lead earlier on in this race versus Peronde. So Crispy has been wanting to take the lead out of the hands of both of them here. He's just thinking about his future prospects here. What do I do? If I was him, I wouldn't lose any more time really and start getting a shift on and trying to get past them. Well, see what the Alpine does anyway. He's getting closer and closer. And that's a spin on the curb. And that's an unforced error there from Crispy. And he knew that he had a real opportunity here to potentially take victory. And suddenly, those chances have at least been halved. As he now loses 5 seconds to Peronde and Bailey with a completely unforced error. And now, with the dirt on his tyres and potential flat spots, Marie is now certainly looking like to be a woman on a mission here. As the German, who's clearly trying to weight save at the moment, simply because she has no helmet on her driver at the moment. Who should believe that? It's very late on the brakes, you'll see there. Look, absolutely no helmet at all. Not the first time we've seen that this season, to be fair. Happens when you end up connecting to the session late. As you can see, carrying Nicholas Latifi's number. So the Williams now considering her moves here. Surely it's a situation here because Crispy is still going to be under pressure not to make another mistake like that one. As he knows it's going to be detrimental. Look how much time he's losing to Peronde and Bailey in all of that clean air at the moment. So clearly he's not feeling it at the moment, still in that little phase of trying to get out, trying to move on from that mistake he made. Completely unforced error as well. So Weaver in the comments once again, yes, absolutely, it's not the best scenario for Red Bull, is it? It's a double DNF for Red Bull. Odds SC boy actually choosing to leave this race after going off on his outlap post pit stop. See what Marie does then. Is Marie going to make any kind of move here? No, QL first person with a time penalty with track extension issues. We have sector 3 yellow flags waved. I believe that was actually 4, would you believe? No limit, no EQL, but whatever the situation is, he's cleared it very quickly. Back on board with So Crispy again. Really can't afford to make any more mistakes here. He's got to try and find he's in the gravel again, so that's not going to help his tyres. And avoid a mistake. It's Marie still able to hold on here. But no moves being made at the moment from the German. Again, very oddly wearing no helmet at the moment. Quick reminder, of course, Uzumaki and Clips are not racing tonight. So we have first of the leaders now making their pit stops, which of course So Crispy is going to be able to make a move on. Marie is equally wanting to spice things up a little bit here. Question is Bailey going to be coming out in traffic, or is he going to be able to make the best of this situation? I think he is, you know, he's 5 seconds back. Which is only going to offer him fresh tyres, clean air. He's going to be saying, yum, 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 that's exactly what I wanted. Of course, Peronde still extending his stint at the moment. Bailey going on to the medium tyre suggests to me he wants to go to the end of this race, but it's going to be a bit of a long gun. It may be a 2-stop potentially falling here for Bailey. We'll have to see. It is going to be a 22-lap stint if he wants to extend these medium tyres, and a lot of the medium tyre runners, actually, to be fair, looking relatively good so far on these 13-lap old mediums, so fortunately they're going to have to go that plus another at least 9 or 10 laps for the Alfa Romeo if he wants to go to the end, and The best final sector from Marie. Still putting pressure on Crispy at the moment. And this is an opportunity here to see if that undercut is going to work a treat here. It looks like it is going to do exactly that here. The question is by how much? For Bailey versus Peronde. And the undercut, working more than just a treat, is actually pulled over 2 seconds on that lap alone, has Bailey, and that has put Peronde under some serious pressure here. No DRS at all is going to be available. The only issue for Bailey, of course, is that he's going to be approaching traffic with Luciano very soon. And if he does get past Luciano very quickly, it won't be too long before he ends up getting to the back of this little scrap at the moment for P1 between the drivers who are yet to make their pit stops and probably aren't going to make their pit stops for some time here. So Marie getting closer and closer to Crispy, but once again the dirty air effect not working in her favour. She loses the rear ever so slightly, snaps it back in line, and look at that, it was an appalling corner actually, falling now under the DRS territory here, so I'm wondering if she's not actually going to have DRS at all, because the detection point is going down that right-hander and she has no DRS at all, so she's trying to use overtake to compensate for the mistake. But going into turn 1, as you can see, it is not the situation that Marie wants. She's now out of DRS territory. And at the moment, So Crispy is currently in a bit of a battle at the moment with his teammate Iron Fox, who was not really adhering to the blue flags, you'd have to argue. He was just sort of letting the ghosting system do its job, but it's not the scenario you really want, because of course you can't concentrate on the circuit if you've got a translucent car running through you. So Crispy now in the lead of this race, and Marie just trying to get past Iron Fox as quickly as possible, who's now on 11 lap old soft tyres, so they're going to be approaching the end of their life, if not already. The ghost cars of Uzumaki and Clips still fighting it out at the moment. 20 laps to go. Oh, that's a spin. It's Crispy, you know. He's done it again. Unforced error. Hit the curb. And now it goes from bad to worse, because I believe now the Alpine has crashed it, and he's brought the safety car out at just the wrong time for his teammate. He spins out. Iron Fox crashes, brings the safety car, and now he's down to 4th place behind the driver who was hoping to try and win this race is in the Alfa Romeo of Bailey, and all, of course, they have to make the overtake on the Aston Martin safety car. And now this is now smiling ear to ear for Marie and Luciano here. Marie did not manage to make qualifying until about 10 minutes left in the session, as you can see by the fact she's not wearing a helmet. And now she's suddenly become a little bit of a dark horse for this victory here tonight. So Iron Fox, as you might have just heard in the background, chanting no as he makes the mistake. Both Alpines making a mistake at suspiciously the wrong time, as a mistake from Marie putting the power down and nearly putting it into the wall, did she? I think she just got away with it, but she's going to have to be careful about making mistakes like that one. So many unforced errors here at Zandvoort tonight. So 17 of 36. We're just a little bit under halfway of this race. When they come across the line, we'll be halfway into this race. Question is what is Marie going to do? We're probably going to be expecting a pit stop. Surely it's going to be an opportunity here for Marie. He's going to get on the brakes. That's very, very late on the brakes, but just managing to hold on. Luciano doing exactly the same thing. Crispy also in, no surprise there. Bailey wants to go to the end of this race, so he'll not be pitting. Perondi not doing the same. Soft tyres going on for Marie, so there is a 2-stop falling. Luciano wants to do the 1-stop. Crispy certainly wanting to do a 2-stop here. Unless he can try and take these tyres, would be potentially. It's going to be another 2 laps behind the safety car, so it'll be 16 laps in total of racing. So, sit rep. Bailey now retakes the lead of this race on medium tyres. Perondi has 1 lap fresher tyres and is now tucking in just behind Bailey, and that gap that Bailey managed to make under the undercut has been completely squashed. Marie is now going to be coming up to the back of these guys now on fresh soft tyres, so she'll be hoping to make some inroads here. Luciano decides to go onto the hard tyre, so he needs to get a good jump here on those around him if he wants to try and maximise any overtaking before the gap inevitably starts to form, being on the hardest compound of tyre. So Crispy now also on the soft tyre, but 2 unforced errors from the Alpine has put him well out of contention of this race victory here tonight. So he needs to try and find that rhythm again if he wants to try and win it. Supply Raptor in the McLaren, fresh mediums for him, fresh mediums for No Limit No EQL as well. Reskiller and the Dude also fresh tyres for them as well. So the Dude making his pit stop 2 laps prior. So they'll be all hoping to get back to the safety car ASAP. There'll be another at least couple of laps, but I think under the safety car. It's lap 19 of 36. There's 17 laps to go. Good opportunity then. Oh, it's a bit quick on the brakes from Bailey, and Perondi saw that one coming. Situation report then as regards the penalties. Of course, only the 3 seconds for No Limit No EQL. And position changes wise, Luciano certainly getting driver of the day at the moment. He started down in 12th. He's going to be 4th and 8 positions gained as it stands at the moment. So Crispy ends up losing 1, Supply Raptor 3. So Crispy will be happy that he's only lost the 1, considering the couple of half spins that he's had, or rather half spin and a full spin. Perondi and Bailey, no change in position between them two. The pole sitter still in the lead of this race. Clips up 6 with Uzumaki up 4, but they will not take points because they didn't start the race essentially, and they're still not here. So the Dude and Reskiller will be taking the scraps of those points. Of course, that would of course mean that we only actually have 9 drivers currently racing at the moment. And the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap because Reskiller and the Dude have managed to get to the back. Opportunity knocks here. Bailey now has control of the field. Of course, his accelerator pedal is electronically limited, so he can't put the power down too early whilst the safety car is still making his way around the field, and the virtual burnt Minelander just making his way around the final camber here as Mods SC Boy now leaving the session after his choice to leave the session. Safety car now in the pit lane, so Bailey will have full control, and he's taking that opportunity right now as he'll come across the line to go green again here at Zandvoort with 16 laps to go, and Bailey leads away from Perondi. Marie is on fresh soft tyres. Keep an eye out on her because she is going to be the one that we're going to be watching on those fresh soft tyres, and is she going to put immediate pressure here on the championship leader on the medium tyre, who both of them not getting really the best turn 3. And straight on with overtake, so she is keen to potentially make some early inroads here. Luciano is going to try and hold on the hard tyres and try and balance the books here with Crispy, but Crispy is on these beautiful fresh set of soft tyres. With the dirty air effect so strong around here, it's going to make for some particularly hard racing. Of course, those Supply Raptor No Limit EQL on medium tyres as well. And of course, no DRS for a couple of laps either. So these drivers are all going to be having to use overtake toe and the grip of the tyres that they've just put on. Fresh rubber working a treat at the moment for Bailey and Perondi on the curbs there for Marie. And not going to be the wisest thing to do. Car going to be massively off camber as a result of that one, and you can see she's lost time, so she's not going to push that hard as long as she can stay in front of Luciano or make that one so Crispy. Makes the dive up into turn 1 on those soft tyres, working an absolute treat for the Alpine. He's now back up to 4th, but he could have been in 3rd if he went for that unforced error at the penultimate corner. Still battles happening between Uzumaki and Clips at the moment. Again, remember, those drivers are not here. They are ghosted cars. So the Dude and Reskiller will take their points in 8th and 9th respectively, though the Dude is 1 minute and 12 seconds down at the moment on Clips. He's essentially a lap down, and he'll be battling with Reskiller here for the scraps of the points. But the Williams of Marie still getting up close and personal here with Perondi. Crispy steady then, going through here. Doesn't want to make the same mistake again as she did on the last lap. Too much curb, and you can see she made another error just trying to avoid hitting that curb because she knew she lost a bucket of time. And the worst thing is because So Crispy's made the move on Luciano, she absolutely knows that So Crispy is going to be equally as quick. So Crispy's been out of contention twice here. He's now back in it again. He doesn't want to lose it a third time here, otherwise it's going to really knock his confidence. So Clips and Uzumaki again still battling, and the two ghosted cars just making their way around the circuit. So Crispy making a bit of a mistake in that first sector has allowed Marie to close down the gap to Perondi, so she's clearly wanted to make some inroads, and she's going to have an opportunity here. I think she is going to have an opportunity here. The DRS is now enabled. Sector 2 yellow flags waved, but I believe that is for no limit, no AQL. And Perondi looking to try and make a move. That's so late on the brakes from the German. She is very keen to make a move. The question is she going to be able to make it move here as she hits her curb for the third time perfectly this time? And there's a mistake for Perondi! And there's the mistake that we thought was inevitably going to be happening, and the championship leader puts it into the wall to stop it. We thought this would be inevitable. And Perondi is going to make it a late dive into the pits here. We thought that was inevitably going to be a feature of this race. Perondi's a quick driver, but he's been struggling around here. He's spun twice in qualifying. He's spun now once in the race. He's now back in the pits. Fresh set of medium tyres to the end of this race to try and hopefully salvage some points here to make sure and damage limitate. Make sure he doesn't lose too many points to the Alfa Romeo. Bit of a mistake for Marie again. The car just not able to stick to the ground and getting both a bucket load of front of under and oversteer at the same time as we've lost another driver. It's Luciano.
I looked up and I saw Marcus so close to losing DRS. I hit the overtake button.
Luciano clearly devastated in his language, as we hear there on the radio. Luciano now down and out of this race. And the safety car has been called out once again. Now here's a question for you. Are you doing softs or mediums? It's got to be an opportunity surely for those to try another set of soft tyres here. Bailey is going to be really, really hoping to get onto the soft tyre. Crispy wants to go to the end here on these softs. Supplier up to doing the same. So it is soft tyres now going on. He'll be hoping the Williams team can get a really good lap, a good pit lane in here, a pit stop rather. Not the best pit stop, unfortunately. Can't get the undercut on Bailey. So situation report now falls for these drivers as So Crispy, who's going to be on a reasonably fresh set of soft tyres, only been 1 or 2 laps old really in the respect of the racing. Supplier Raptor on 2 or 3 lap old medium tyres. They're not going to be as quick as those on the softs, but towards the end of this race he will be quite quick. But will he lose too much time in this first stint? Bailey then on fresh soft tyres. Marie also doing the same here, and Bailey knows that he's in a good position here because of course his championship contender, his championship leader, down in 8th place, but of course with those fresh medium tyres, who I have assumed will be wanted to go into now a fresh set of soft tyres. Well, actually monitor, no he's not, he's staying out actually on these medium tyres, and another half spin actually under the safety car conditions for Perondi. He has got a bit of racing to do here, and with a bunch of drivers all electing going to the soft tyres here, it's going to be very, very close indeed. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, in real life Formula 1, the dude in PWW Reskill would have the opportunity to overtake the safety car and unlap themselves here, and I do believe if the dude were to floor it past Perondi, he would, or Supply Raptor rather, he would actually be able to unlap himself. The question is he going to do so? I have a feeling probably not. Is he going to come into the pit lane instead? He's not. He does have every opportunity to unlap himself if he wants to do so. The game usually allows it, although we've got mixed reviews on that one, and actually it's pending the circuit, so we'll see what the dude decides to do. He's probably going to just stick back here. Reskiller just took it in behind him at the moment as well, actually 0.5 of a second separating him at the moment, so they're battling out for the scraps of points at the moment. It's lap 25 of 36. Of course, it's lap 24 at the moment for Reskiller, and they are a lap down overall. They are lapped cars. They should have the right to overtake. But the safety car will probably be coming in at the end of this lap for an 11-lap dash to the end. Question is 17-lap-old soft tyres, which granted 5 of those 17 are probably going to be under the safety car, but 12-lap-old softs. We've seen that what 12-lap-old softs do to some drivers. Iron Fox for one, 11-lap-old softs, and he's DNF'd, so not exactly the scenario that one wants to be on. So it's going to be a little bit of tyre conservation, you'd think, for So Crispy, who's now going to be leading this pack with a safety car now in this lap, rather. And I'm sure Mods SC Boy, who may or may not be watching, will be sort of kicking himself, actually, for retiring from this race, because it would have been a cracking opportunity to earn some big points for Red Bull. Unfortunately, the Red Bull chose to retire from this race after that one mistake he made on the hard tyre. As PWW the Dude has now just received a 5-second penalty for collision with supply wraps. Would you believe it? Must have been the slightest of touches. The 8 safety car just pulling into the lane now, and So Crispy wants to go, and he's going very early, coming out of the final corner. And once again, we go green again here at Zandvoort. And So Crispy gets a really, really good start here, and it looks like we've got some people fighting towards the back here. I think it's the lapped cars currently battling it out at the moment. Actually, sorry, it's actually Bailey trying to get past what I believe to be Reskiller at the moment. I'm sure Marie will want to do the same very quickly. It's a mistake there from Reskiller. He's obviously getting caught out by the lapped. Look, Carl's trying to lap him at the moment. The Dude also in the mix here. They are under technical blue flags here, so really they should be pulling out of the way and letting these guys race. But with the ghosted system, not a lot of people tend to do that. And the Dude is looking to just keep on with his own race, of course, being a minute and 40 seconds back from Uzumaki, which is going to make no difference to us, of course, because they'll not actually get any points. So it's fresh soft tyres at the moment for Bailey and Marie, versus reasonably old soft tyres for So Crispy and reasonably old medium tyres at the moment for Supply Raptor, who at the moment is actually setting some good laps, actually, as the McLaren Mercedes versus the Alpine right in front. The Alpine Renault, or maybe Alpine Mechachrome later down the line. Does set the fastest lap, but Supply Raptor looking sharp, but then Bailey sets the fastest lap of this race here, and these fresh soft tyres clearly working a treat at the moment for Bailey and Marie. So as again, as I said, opportunity knocks with 9 laps to go of this Dutch Grand Prix. Anybody could be really winning it here. One person who's going to be kicking himself that he's got a time penalty as a result of track extensions will be Supply Raptor at the moment. He's in a cracking position to be scoring some big points here tonight, but that 3-second penalty hovering over his head will drop him down some significant positions, actually. He'll be falling in probably as far as P5, maybe even P6, where Perondi is at the moment, who's trying to make inroads at the moment on No Limit, No AQL, but those soft tyres are working so well at the moment for the Aston that he's just able to hold a gap very nicely on Perondi, even under DRS, which will obviously be active at the end of this lap. Marie's job is just to try and hold on the back of Bailey if she can, rather. DRS then, of course, enabled, and Marie now setting the fastest lap of the race. She's looking very sharp at the moment. The German looking to just try and make a move on Bailey. Bailey's maybe arguing here that I think he's being held up a little bit from Supply Wraps. Obviously the dirty air effect not really working in the favour of those on the soft tyre. They will burn through the soft tyres rather quickly if they stay in the wake of the car in front for too long, which is why it's fairly crucial that So Crispy doesn't get overtaken by Supply Raptor here. I mean, on the medium tyre, of course, you've got the more durable tyre. Just keeping an eye on Bailey, and again Marie just pulling away from that little battle happening at the moment, as Bailey's turning in some good sector lap times at the moment, actually some of the fastest that we're seeing so far in this race. seeing another purple lap time here from Bailey. We'll have to see. DRS open, and he's not using overtake just yet. Will come across the line. Hasn't improved on his fastest lap. And we're getting a little bit caught up here as Perondi has just managed to make the move, stick on No Limit No QL for P5. But No Limit No QL's made the move right back on Perondi, who's trying to catch up here. He's going to have to go around that outside line if he wants it. It's going to be a good move here around that outside line as well. And what a treat from the Brazilian driver to get up to P5. He really needed that one. Going around the outside line and not crossing that racing line, which we've seen many times before. People crossing that racing line, moving from the outside to the inside and then getting into a collision with someone. It's the last thing that you want, really, in any racing scenario. Bailey closing down the gap once again on Supplier App 2, who's now going to be under some pressure here. And I'm starting to wonder if So Crispy's soft tyres are now beginning to wear out a little bit, you know. They look reasonably okay. Maybe a slight blister opening up now on that rear left tyre. Cuts the inside line to try and get the toe, or cut the toe from Supplier Raptor. But again, is not going to find any space to go for a move yet. But look at the ERS at the moment. The McLaren Mercedes is going to be struggling for power down any kind of DRS straight here with 6 laps to go. A little bit off of the curb there from Supplier Raptor. That's going to put him under pressure now from Bailey. Not really the scenario Supplier Raptor wanted. He'll have DRS off of So Crispy, which will help him defend here. But Bailey knows that that mistake has put him in a prime position to potentially make some moves here. Question is how is he going to deal with it? He's right up the gearbox of that McLaren Mercedes. And of course, any mistake made from those in front, Marie will be very happy to squat the points! Like that, exactly! Supply Raptor is out of this race, up on the curb. I did mention there was going to be a mistake. I told you, and that is exactly what has happened. And the safety car is out once again for a 3rd time in this race. And Perondi has had an absolute blinder once again. A blind bit of luck for that safety car to come in. He's dived into the pits for a fresh set of soft tyres to the end of this race, and it will be So Crispy, Bailey and Marie with Perondi on the freshest of soft tyres fighting it out for a victory. The McLaren Mercedes is going to be absolutely livid that he committed that unforced error, as we've seen time and time again at that penultimate and final corner here at Zandvoort. Been an absolute travesty for some of these drivers, and the safety car is out once again for the 3rd time in this race. Now an opportunity here for So Crispy. He is really going to be holding on for dear life on these soft tyres regardless of what happens. He might as well make a pit stop. He'll still be 3rd place in front of Perondi. Bailey and Marie may also do the same here. So we'll see what happens. Crispy coming across the final line here, and no surprise he decides to pit. He needs to get off of these soft tyres there beyond the end of their life. And then once again you can see there straight away Marie and Bailey also doing exactly the same thing, and you cannot blame them in fairness. You might as well take the opportunity, use that last set of soft tyres that they've got available. So Crispy will retake that one. Bailey will make the jump on Marie, who will take 3rd place. We'll see where Perondi comes out. Remember, Perondi's going to be under strict conditions of 40% speed, which means that 18-second gap, which would have got him P1, has been probably cut to around about 10 seconds for a regular pit stop. It would have been the regular 20, sorry. As a result of that one, he then falls no higher than P4. And those drivers in front will have a fresh set of soft tyres. So a blind bit of luck. Wasn't too lucky in the end for the Brazilian driver in driving for Haas this season. Once again, Clips and Uzumaki are not racing. They did not start this race. They have not rejoined the race, so they will not classify, which means we're actually down to 7 drivers overall in this race, as what has been a very, very hard race indeed. these drivers. Now, opportunity here for the dude. He could, if he wanted, drive past these guys and just have a go and see if he can try and catch up to the rest of the field. But in the end, he's choosing not to. I figured he might as well have done so because Reskiller is still quite a bit of time behind him here, so he might as well have just made the jump on these drivers, force them to go around maybe another lap, and at least get to the back of the queue. We'll see what it does anyway. He's teasing the ghost car of Uzumaki. So as it stands at the moment, of course, Clips and Uzumaki not scoring points would mean No Limit Neo QL will take 5th place, the Dude will take 6th, and then Reskiller will take 7th. And what I believe to be his first points of the season for Reskiller as well, so he'll be finally contributing to the Haas points total, which I'm sure he'll be happy about, let's be honest. So, situation report then. We have 3 laps to go. The safety car, regardless of what happens, will be coming into the end of this lap, I believe. Got to try and instigate some levels of racing here. So, Reskiller, despite the fact that he's only just approaching turn 4 at the moment, maybe end up being caught up here. And may end up being left out to dry a little bit. And unfortunately, there is a glitch within this game, which means that as soon as the safety car comes in, the limiter is active for everyone, even if he did not manage to make it to the back of this queue. So he'll be pushing really hard here. Assuming the safety car will be coming in, it'll be a late dive into the pits if it does. If not, then we'll only have 2 laps of racing, which means there'll be no DRS. So it does not look like the safety car's going to be coming in. It might be a very late call here. He is just getting round, and there it is. We did think that would be happening because it's a very late call. Because No Limit Neo QL has managed to make it to the back. So Crispy will lead the charge then. Then it'll be Bailey and then it'll be Peronde. He'll warm those tyres up. And the safety car just about to dive into the pits, so the limiter will be lifted. And for the final time here in Zandvoort, the Alpine goes. And it's not the best start here from Bailey because Marie's making the charge. We go green again, and she's looking to go down that inside line potentially on Bailey. And what is a very uncharacteristic mistake from Bailey, tries to hold on around the outside. He can't hold on, and therefore Marie then takes P2. And that is an unfortunate error from Bailey, who was hoping to try and cut down the points here on Peronde, who's now really just at the behind him here. Sector 1 yellow flags wave for Reskiller. Situation report then. It's So Crispy versus Marie versus Bailey versus Peronde. Early sort of odds would suggest that Crispy's probably got this one here, but Marie is looking crisp and sharp. So the real question is exactly what is Marie going to do? Wait until the final lap. Have a go here. Hopefully Crispy will make the re-overtake. He's making early charges already. This is what we've seen from him characteristically. A very well taken final corner from Marie, but Crispy just getting the charge out of the corner. And she is lucky to make some early inroads here. She gets the fastest lap of this race. No Limit Neo QL now entering into the pit lane. What I have a feeling will be the final time in this race. Of course, Reskiller and the Dude are a lap down, so he will take at least 7th place, regardless of what happens, unless he DNFs. If he DNFs on the lap 36, he will be alright and he'll keep 7th. Up on the curve again. That Williams is looking so quick on the sort of fast corners, but on the slow corners, Crispy has got it absolutely covered. It's a little bit of a topsy-turvy race, this one. Zandvoort usually brings up something rather special. And Zandvoort has been an absolute star to us in this race, because it's really, really mixed up the racing. As we will now start lap 36 of 36. DRS has actually been enabled, so we will have at least one lap of racing. And that will be the call that Marie will be very happy to hear, but unfortunately for her, she's used up a lot of her ERS energy, which tells me she's going to be struggling with power, especially through this section here. She pops it to overtake regardless to try and close down the gap to Crispy. About 5, 6, 7 into 8, but it's going to be tight on the curb. Still no determined winner here. On this final lap, the Alpine just looking to keep it steady. Throughout the slow corners, the Alpine has got more grip. Throughout the fast corners, the Williams has got more grip. But Marie not having a good charge here, and she's hoping to just try, I think, what seemed to be now more of a defence here from Bailey. Of course, remember, it will be DRS all the way down to the line, and it's a very short run. But regardless, with the wind in his hair, so Crispy is going to be happy that this one worked out in the end, regardless of the two mistakes that he made earlier on. The Alpine will come across the line to take victory here at Zandvoort. Marie just able to hold on by under 0.2 of a second to Bailey. Perondi loses points in the championship lead and will take no money with him either for the first time in quite a while. If a fourth place, Clips comes across the line for fifth with Uzumaki in sixth, but they will not classify because they did not race here tonight. No Limit No QL did disconnect from this race, but will take the points regardless, and that is one mighty race here at Zandvoort. It's been a magnificent one to watch.
Nice.
The dude making it very clear with just one comment. Nice. Well, let's take a look then at that podium ceremony, and we'll just appreciate what has happened and the racing we've just experienced. So Crispy, the Ukrainian, will take the top step of the podium. And 25 points out heading his way. Marie, another podium to her name. She'll be happy with P2, but she'll know she had more pace potential to win that one tonight. And then, of course, Bailey, not the best start off of that safety car restart. He'll be disappointed with third, and not taking out as many points as I think he really wanted against Perondi, who again has a little stroke of luck in his shoulder. A little stroke of luck under his shoulder and a little chip on his shoulder maybe, who knows. Either way, so Crispy taking the top step. Marie finishes in second with Bailey in third, Perondi in fourth, Clips in fifth with Uzumaki in sixth, will not classify, so No Limit No QL will take fifth with the dude in sixth place, Reskiller in seventh, and then your DNFers, a wide stretch of DNFers with Supply Raptor, Luciano, Iron Fox, Mods SC Boy and Silweaver all out of this race. Mods SC Boy leaving under his own accord. He'll be disappointed with that one as well. I'll tell you what, that was some really, really great racing. I've really thoroughly enjoyed watching that one with you folks. We'll be heading on then to our next race in the Catalina Wine Mixer event. Of course, the Catalina Wine Mixer will be heading over to the Circuit de Sport de Francorchamps next week, of course, at the usual times, 5 to 4.
Are there tomorrow for the race for PWW?
It'll be 5 Eastern, 4 Central, 9 UK time. Take care in the meantime. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.